What if aging as you understand it is an engineered illusion? What if 5 ancient movements, deliberately hidden from mainstream knowledge, hold the power to reverse biological decline? One of these practices is so fundamental that scientific research proves your inability to perform it multiplies your mortality risk by 5 times in the coming years. I'm revealing which one in moments. This suppressed wisdom originates from an Egyptian sage whose legends claim he lived for millennia. He left behind keys to unlocking the body's regenerative capacity. Modern science is finally validating what he already understood. In this video, I'm unveiling all 5 rituals. But the 5th secret is the most shocking because it activates a form of anti-aging armor in your cellular structure. Stay until the end because what you're learning today transcends mere longevity. It's about vitality reclamation, and it could transform the rest of your existence. This knowledge didn't emerge from nowhere. It was preserved and transmitted by a legendary consciousness known in ancient Egypt as Thoth, the god of wisdom. But before deification, legends describe him as a priest-king in Atlantis, a civilization that achieved spiritual and technological heights we can barely comprehend. There in crystal temples, Thoth didn't merely rule. He drank directly from the source of universal wisdom, understanding fundamental laws governing life, death, and reality's very architecture. He lived for millennia through mastery over the energies animating body and consciousness. When catastrophe submerged his homeland, Thoth departed in an ark to save wisdom itself. He traveled to the land becoming Egypt, bringing Atlantean knowledge recorded on an artifact of unimaginable power, the Emerald Tablet. This text didn't contain commandments but axioms, universal laws describing how the cosmos operates. As above, so below, one of its most famous phrases, reveals that the human being is a microcosm, a miniature universe containing within itself all powers and principles of the macrocosm. Thoth taught that man is a mortal god, a spiritual being inhabiting a physical body with inherent power to transcend mortality. His wisdom wasn't abstract philosophy for debate but practical, applicable knowledge about aligning body and mind with the cosmic flow of life. He understood that aging is dissonance, disconnection between physical body and energetic essence. And he knew exactly how to restore that connection, how to rewire the body circuit so it could vibrate at a frequency of continuous vitality and regeneration. What Thoth knew from direct experience, modern science is now millennia later beginning to discover through experiments. Scientists studying epigenetics are proving that genes are not destiny. We can activate or deactivate longevity genes through lifestyle, thoughts, and crucially movements. What Thoth called aligning with cosmic flow, science today calls optimizing gene expression and mitochondrial function. Same truth, different languages. The human body is an instrument of power. Thoth left instructions on how to tune it, to unlock dormant potential in our DNA. He left a legacy of body practices, movements functioning as energetic keys. 5 sacred movements form the foundation of his science of immortality. Each movement is an act of realignment, a way to tune the body to higher energy frequencies. They're designed to awaken dormant life force at the spine's base, what yogis call kundalini, and raise it up, revitalizing every cell and organ in its path. These 5 rituals are steps of a ladder taking us back to our original nature. One step at a time on the journey to reverse the very idea that time has power over us. They are the body's technology for preparing the physical temple to hold the spirit's light. And the first of these secrets, the first key to unlocking that door, is a movement so fundamental, so primal that most of us have completely forgotten it. A simple act that reconnects us to a force literally keeping us from dying prematurely. Think about it. Our primate ancestors lived in trees, and the ability to suspend themselves by their own weight was essential for survival. Today we live in chairs, and this disconnection from our original design comes at a devastating cost. The simple act of hanging from a bar even for just seconds begins immediate healing. It uses gravity in our favor, decompressing the spine, creating space between vertebrae crushed by years of poor posture and sedentary lifestyle. But the power of this movement goes far beyond relieving back pain. It rebuilds functional strength of the shoulders, the most mobile and unstable joint in the human body, restoring freedom of movement we've lost. However, Its deepest and most surprising benefit lies in a biological marker that modern science has only recently decoded as one of the most accurate indicators of longevity: grip strength. The strength with which you can squeeze your hand, your ability to hold on, is directly tied to your overall vitality. It reflects your neurological and muscular health. Rigorous scientific studies, such as one published in the British Medical Journal, revealed a shocking truth. They tracked thousands of people over years and discovered that weak grip strength is one of the strongest predictors of early death, even more so than blood pressure. A weak grip is directly linked to higher risk of heart disease, respiratory problems, and all-cause mortality. The conclusion is inescapable. Gripping more strongly is literally holding on to more life. Every time you hang and strengthen your grip, you're sending a powerful signal to your entire system that you are strong, capable, and alive. In Thoth's Hermetic philosophy, the principle of correspondence tells us, as above, so below. When you hang, you place yourself in an in-between state, suspended between heaven and earth. Your body stretches, creating space physically and energetically. You become a bridge, a channel for life force to flow freely. Thoth taught that the body must be strong and flexible to house expanded consciousness. This exercise is an act of cosmic realignment, a fine-tuning of your physical instrument so it can vibrate at a higher and longer-lasting frequency, resisting entropy. If you're realizing that ancient wisdom and modern science are converging to reveal truths about your body's potential and you want to explore more of these hidden practices, please subscribe. We're uncovering knowledge deliberately kept from mainstream awareness. Your support helps us continue revealing these transformations. Now let's continue to the second secret. After opening the upper channels of the body, we must descend, reconnect with Earth. The second secret is rediscovery of humanity's original and natural resting position, the deep squat. Look at traditional cultures around the world, or simply observe a small child playing. They rest comfortably in this position for long periods. For millennia, our ancestors cooked, socialized, and simply existed while squatting, maintaining direct connection to Earth's energy and perfect joint health. We have lost this ability. The chair's invention was perhaps one of the greatest disasters for human health. By sitting at 90-degree angles for hours on end, day after day, we've essentially put our bodies in a cast. The result: loss of ankle mobility, shortening of hip flexors, pelvic floor dysfunction, and a cascade of problems culminating in chronic lower back pain, and eventually loss of independence. Failing to squat is divorce from your own body, disconnection from your most fundamental way of being and resting. This ancient wisdom has been dramatically validated by modern science through a study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology. Researchers developed the sit and rise test. The task was simple: sit on the floor and stand back up using as little support as possible. The result was alarming. Individuals who needed lots of help to stand, such as using both hands and both knees, were 5 times more likely to die in the next 6 years compared to those who could do it without any support. Each point of support needed corresponded to a 21% increase in mortality risk. The deep squat is the foundational base for mastering this test. It's the movement restoring mobility and strength needed to move freely between ground and upright position. The ability to squat is survival training. Reclaiming the ability to deep squat is reclaiming your basic human function. It's reclaiming your youth and autonomy. It's telling your body and the world that you refuse to become fragile and dependent. When you squat, you return to the ground, to the foundation. You bow in humility before the wisdom of your own body, allowing your joints to realign and heal naturally. Energetically, this is a grounding position. It promotes the flow of vital energy, known as prana or chi, through your lower energy centers, connecting you to Earth's electromagnetic field and anchoring you in the present moment. Losing the ability to connect with Earth in this way is beginning to float away from life, losing your foundation and stability. Reclaiming the squat is a revolutionary act in a world wanting us sitting and passive. But being able to descend to the ground in a squat is only half the battle. The true test of vitality, the ultimate proof that you command your body, is what you do next. It's the ability to reverse the movement and rise against gravity. An act symbolizing far more than physical strength. The ability to get up from the ground without using your hands is the invisible line separating dependence from independence. It's the ultimate test of your functional vitality, the undeniable proof that your body still serves your will. Think about what it means to lose this ability. It means a simple fall could become a prison sentence. It means playing on the floor with your grandchildren turns into high-risk activity. Losing this ability is losing your freedom. Is becoming a prisoner in your own home, in your own body. Every time you need furniture or someone's hand to help you up, a small part of your sovereignty slips away. The same sit and rise test that brutally reveals mortality risk also illuminates the path to longevity. It's a training guide. With every transition you master from ground to standing position with less support, you're literally rewriting your future. You're affirming your life force, sending a message to every cell in your body that you are resilient, strong, and capable. Training to sit and stand from the floor is about preserving dignity, autonomy, and life itself. Hermetic philosophy echoing Thoth's teaching states that man on earth is a mortal god. This act of rising, of standing up against the relentless pull of gravity using only power generated by your own body, is physical manifestation of that spiritual truth. It's your inner divinity expressing itself through movement. We're getting to the most powerful secrets, and if this is revealing how your body was designed to function and you want the complete system for reversing biological age, please subscribe. We're teaching what was deliberately hidden from you. Your support allows us to continue. Now for the fourth secret that protects you from the silent killer. Your hips are your body's steering wheel. If the wheel is locked, you can't steer around obstacles. Stiff hips equal poor balance, and poor balance inevitably leads to falls. And for an aging person, falls are the silent thief that steals independence and often life itself. The scientific statistics are terrifyingly clear. Study after study confirms that a hip fracture in an older adult is a catastrophic event, carrying a 20 to 30% chance of death within a year. Your hips are your life insurance and their mobility is the policy keeping you safe. Ancient wisdom traditions like Taoism use nature as metaphor to teach about the body. They teach that the body should be like water, fluid, adaptable, and powerful. Rigidity is a sign of stagnation, of death. A dry, rigid tree snaps in the first strong wind, while flexible bamboo bends and survives the storm. Free and mobile hips allow vital energy to flow freely throughout the body, nourishing your organs and keeping your tissues youthful and hydrated. Stiffness in the hips creates a dam, blocking that flow and accelerating the aging process. When you move your hips freely through their full range of motion, you're mimicking the flow of life itself. You're moving in harmony with nature's forces. Your hips are your foundation, the base upon which your strength, your balance, and your ability to walk are built. Making them fail-proof, keeping them mobile and functional is absolutely essential for a long and independent life. But even the strongest foundation and the freest hips need one final layer of protection. A force that doesn't move but stabilizes. An invisible armor that anchors you in space and makes you unshakable even in the face of an unexpected stumble. Here we arrive at the central point, the secret that ties all the others together and fulfills the promise of reversing functional aging. We've discovered the importance of hanging, squatting, getting up, and having mobile hips. But all of that can be in vain without the final piece. The strength that keeps you stable is vital. This is the fifth secret, the isometric stability of your center, your core. It's your invisible armor against the greatest enemy of longevity, falls. Isometric means muscle contraction without movement. Think of holding a plank position or doing a wall sit. You're not moving, but your muscles are working intensely to maintain stability. This type of training builds a different kind of strength, a strength of endurance and resilience. It's this strength your body instinctively recruits in a split second when you trip on a curb. The lack of this stability is a silent epidemic. The medical journal The Lancet published alarming data. Falls are the second leading cause of death from accidental injury among older adults worldwide. Millions of lives are lost or drastically altered every year by something that is largely preventable. Core stability is an active force that anchors you in space, making you unshakable. Training this ability is like installing a traction and stability control system in your own body. The Hermetic principle of polarity taught by Thoth states that everything has its pair of opposites and that opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. Dynamic strength, which moves your limbs through space, finds its perfect complement in static isometric strength, which stabilizes your center. Thoth knew that true strength lies in the ability to remain steady in the face of adversity. By training isometrics, you cultivate stillness at the center of the storm, the calm in the eye of the hurricane. Now you know the 5 secrets, the 5 pillars of the temple of your body: hanging, squatting, standing, mobilizing the hips, and stabilizing the core. Each one is powerful on its own. But when you begin to combine them, to practice them as an integrated system, something magical happens. They cease to be just exercises and become the ingredients of a much deeper process, an inner alchemy that goes beyond the physical and begins to transform the very essence of your being. The 5 movements you've just discovered are the ingredients of a powerful alchemical ritual, a formula for personal transmutation. Alchemy, whose Western origin traces back to the teachings of Thoth in his incarnation as Hermes Trismegistus, was never just about turning base metal into gold. At its deepest level, the great work has always been about the transmutation of the soul itself, using the human body as the laboratory and life as the alchemical furnace. In this process, lead is a symbol representing the dense, heavy, unconscious state of existence. Inactivity, rigidity, fear, illness, and belief in decay. Gold symbolizes the highest state of being, vitality, freedom of movement, expanded awareness, and radiant health. The 5 movements are the alchemical operations allowing you to transform the lead of your current condition into the gold of your highest potential. Each movement is a deliberate step in this sacred process of purification and elevation. Together, these 5 movements form a complete cycle of death and rebirth that occurs within you during every practice session. You are dying to your old limited fragile self and being reborn into a new self, vibrant and free. On the emerald tablet it is written, "You shall separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the dense with great skill." That is exactly what you do when you practice these movements. You separate stiffness from flexibility, weakness from strength, illusion from truth. You become the alchemist of your own being. Knowing the 5 secrets is having the map. But the journey only begins when you take the first step, then the second and the third, day after day. These 5 movements are human non-negotiables. That means they are just as essential to your health, longevity, and well-being as breathing, drinking water, and sleeping. They are the foundational maintenance your body requires to function as it was designed. Integrating these movements into your daily life transforms knowledge into wisdom, theory into lived reality in your own body. You can hang for 30 seconds when you wake up. Do a few squats while waiting for water to boil. Practice getting up from the floor while watching TV and move your hips before going to bed. The path is progressive and infinitely adaptable. It meets you exactly where you are right now. The goal is progress. Every small improvement, every extra second, every added inch of range is a victory against entropy, a statement of your life force. Thousands of everyday people of all ages and fitness levels have already walked this path. From elite athletes looking to optimize performance to older adults who simply wanted to tie their shoes without pain, they rediscovered the joy of movement, healed chronic pain doctors said was permanent, and reclaimed independence they thought was lost forever. Their stories are living proof that this knowledge works. As you embark on this journey and commit to the daily ritual, you begin to uncover a deep and transformative truth. Movement doesn't just slow aging. It reverses it in a functional and biological sense. You begin to move better than you did 10 years ago. Pains you accepted as part of life simply disappear. The energy and vitality you thought belonged only to youth begin pulsing through your veins again. This is the culmination of Thoth's wisdom and Hermetic philosophy. It's the recognition that you are a dual being, a bridge between 2 worlds, mortal in body but immortal in soul and spirit. You are the consciousness of the universe experiencing itself in human form. The practice of these 5 sacred movements is the building of that bridge. It is the alchemical process by which you infuse your mortal physical body with the awareness of your immortal soul. Conscious movement becomes your prayer, your meditation, your act of devotion to the divine that lives within you. If you've made it this far, you are no longer the same person who began this video. You felt the call and you are ready to reclaim power over your own body in your own time.